You know that moment when two people walk into a room and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife? That was exactly what the boxing world felt leading up to David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant on March 25th, 2023. These guys didn't just want to win, they wanted to embarrass each other. It started with trash talk, then escalated with interviews, social media jabs, and even physical confrontations during press conferences. This wasn't just about a belt. It was about pride, status, and making a statement. And when the night finally came, oh boy, Benavidez did exactly that. He made Caleb Plant look, well, average. Let's break it down. The opening bell rings, and right off the bat, you could tell Caleb Plant came in with a game plan. Keep it moving, stick and jab, and stay away from the monster in front of him. And you know what? For the first few rounds, it looked like it might work. Plant used his legs like a track star, popping jabs, circling the ring, and making Benavidez miss. He even landed some clean counters that made the crowd cheer. But here's the thing about David Benavidez. He doesn't panic. He doesn't rush. He just keeps coming, slowly, patiently, and with power. By round 5, you could see the tide turning. Plant's legs started to slow. His punches weren't landing as clean. And Benavidez, he was getting stronger. The crowd could feel it. The commentators could feel it. You could almost see it on Plant's face. That uh-oh moment when you realize the storm you've been trying to outrun is finally catching up. From round 6 onward, it was Benavidez's show. He started landing heavy body shots, followed by brutal uppercuts and hooks. Every punch was thrown with bad intentions. It wasn't reckless, it was surgical violence. And Plant, despite being tough as nails, just couldn't keep up. By the final bell, it wasn't a matter of if Benavidez had won, it was by how much. The judges agreed, 115 to 113, 116 to 112, 117 to 111. Unanimous decision, no controversy, no debate, just domination. That's the golden question, right? Why did Benavidez make a fighter as skilled as Caleb Plant look so average? It comes down to pressure, patience, and power. First off, Benavidez applies pressure like few others in the sport today, but not the wild, head down, throw everything kind. His pressure is smart. He cuts off the ring. He makes you move where he wants you to. It's like being stalked by a lion, calm on the outside, deadly when it strikes. Second, Benavidez doesn't waste energy. While Plant was dancing around, Benavidez was conserving. He didn't throw just to throw. He waited for the right moment, then unloaded with flurries that made every punch count. Third, the power. Let's be honest, Benavidez hits hard, and not just to the head. His body shots were brutal. You could hear them smack Plant's ribs through the TV. Over time, those shots broke Caleb down. But maybe the most underrated part? His mental toughness. Benavidez didn't get frustrated early when he wasn't landing much. He stuck to his plan, stayed composed. That's the difference between a good fighter and a great one. Plant, on the other hand, started off strong but didn't have a plan B. When his legs started fading and Benavidez kept coming, there wasn't much he could do. He held on, literally. In fact, many fans pointed out how much clinching was going on in the second half. It was survival mode. And when one guy's surviving and the other's thriving, the result speaks for itself. Now that the dust has settled, everyone's asking, what's next? Let's start with Benavidez. His win over Plant wasn't just another notch on the belt. It was his official entry into the Canelo conversation. And that's no small thing. Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing, the king of 168 pounds, and the guy every contender dreams of fighting. Benavidez made it clear in the post-fight interview, Canelo's gotta give me that fight. And based on this performance, he's earned it. Fans want it, promoters want it. Even Canelo, when asked, didn't shut it down completely. A showdown between Canelo and Benavidez would be massive. Mexico versus Mexico. Superstar versus rising monster. It sells itself. As for Caleb Plant, look, the guy took on two of the best in the world in back-to-back fights. That takes guts. And even though he lost, he didn't get knocked out. and he showed real heart. He's still a top-level fighter. He could come back against someone like Jermall Charlo or even a rematch with Anthony Durrell. But he's going to need time to regroup, because once you've been hunted by Benavidez, you don't walk away the same. Before the fight, Caleb Plant was praised for his technical skills. He was quick, he had solid defense, and he had already stood toe-to-toe with Canelo. So naturally, fans expected him to come in with a smart strategy, hit, move, stay elusive, and frustrate Benavidez. And that's exactly what he tried to do. But here's the kicker. It worked, just not for long. In the first few rounds, you could argue Plant was winning. His jab was snappy, his footwork was slick, and he even managed to keep Benavidez guessing. The commentators on Showtime were giving him props. But then, something shifted. Around round 5 or 6, that slickness started fading. His punches didn't sting the same. His legs weren't bouncing like they were in round 1. The pressure was catching up to him, and that's where his strategy started to backfire. Why? Because it was built on movement, constant movement. But against someone like Benavidez, who never stops coming forward, that becomes exhausting. And when you tire out against a guy who gets stronger with each round, you're in trouble. The jab that used to land starts falling short. The angles don't work as well. The clinches get longer. The eyes start to show frustration. That's exactly what happened. Then there's the other problem, lack of power. Plant is skilled, no doubt, but he's not known as a knockout artist. So even when he landed clean shots on Benavidez, they didn't really stop him from walking forward. You could see Benavidez eating those punches like a snack and shaking them off like, that's it? So what we saw was a smart game plan, but only on paper. In reality, it wasn't built to last 12 rounds against a monster. Plant was surviving, not winning, in the second half of the fight. In hindsight, could he have done something differently? Maybe mixed in some body work or taken more risks early? But when you're in survival mode, creativity tends to disappear. You know how there's always that one fight where a boxer stops being promising and becomes dangerous? For David Benavidez, this was that night. Sure, he had been undefeated before this. He'd won and defended the WBC super middleweight title, but critics always had a few jabs of their own. Some said he hadn't fought elite opponents. Others pointed to discipline issues, like when he lost his belt for missing weight or testing positive for cocaine in 2018. Even his fans, while loyal, knew he needed a statement win. And this was it. Caleb Plant wasn't just another contender. He was a former world champion with name value, great skills, and serious experience against top fighters. And Benavidez didn't just beat him, he outclassed him in the later rounds. He answered every doubt people had. Can he deal with a mover? Yes. Can he stay composed in a high-stakes fight? Absolutely. Can he go 12 hard rounds and finish stronger than he started? No question. Benavidez showed layers. He wasn't just throwing punches in bunches. He was picking his shots, breaking down a smart fighter, and adjusting round by round. That's the stuff champions are made of. And the numbers back it up. According to CompuBox, Benavidez landed more power punches and had better accuracy in the final rounds when it mattered most. That's not luck. That's maturity. That's growth. Even the way he handled himself after the fight was different. There was respect, no wild trash talk, just business. He knew what this win meant. Let's not sugarcoat it. On March 25th, David Benavidez walked into that ring with one mission: to show the world he's the real deal. And man, did he deliver. He didn't just beat Caleb Plant. He broke him down. He made a former world champion look ordinary, and he did it with skill, smarts, and savage pressure. Benavidez has officially outgrown the prospect label. He's now the guy everyone's watching, the hunter in a division full of hunted. As for the Plant, he'll be back. But that night belonged to Benavidez, the night he proved he's more than hype. It was the night David Benavidez made Caleb Plant look average.